All right, gentlemen. Shiree, Charlotte Football Insiders. Coach Grice, thank you for joining us once again. Coach Billups, welcome back. First, we're going to talk about Myers Park versus Richmond.
Woo! Hey, you talk about your marquee matchups. I mean, we talked about Fight Club. We're working our way to the heavyweight champion of the world fight, but it's going to be an incredible game. I think Richmond answered that first stepping stone by beating Huff. I mean, I know Matt, you were out there at Richmond for this one on the scene. I mean, even watching those highlights. I mean, I thought you had some good plays on both sides. I mean, I think you had, Huff making some great plays. And, if we call Huff the appetizer as, what were they, the 8 seed? Yeah, it was the 8 seed this year. I think Myers Park's your main course. And it's one of those big main courses that I don't know if you can finish. But, Richmond has stated that you kind of get that feeling from them that they're ready to show this side of the world, the Charlotte football world, that they're capable, that they're worthy, and that they deserve that 1 seed. I mean, here's now your chance to do that. And I mean, I think that this will be a great game to see. I mean, they dealt, and I thought one thing that kind of concerned me is Devin Chandler had a big day. Evan Pryor, big catch and run.
Evan Pryor, man, he had 7 for, I think, like 150 or something like that.
Yeah.
2 touchdowns. Chandler had 2 touchdowns. Freshman quarterback throwing 3 touchdown passes. You said he was ready.
No, and I think that's the thing. I mean, I've seen enough of him. He actually was playing JV when we played him, but seeing a lot of the varsity film on him, I mean,
I played.
Yeah, exactly. I think y'all were a couple weeks before playing him.
We played both JV and varsity.
No, he got a little bit of work for us as well. But no, I mean that kid's special. It's nothing. He's special. I mean, you can see it even playing JV that he's a man amongst boys. But that kind of concerned me, and I even I spoke with Coach Camp a little bit out there, the DB coach, and I let him know. I mean, it's going to be a tough fight with those Myers Park receivers, and to see Chandler do well, to see Pryor do well down the field, it's a little concerning. I can't lie. I mean, Myers Park is going to be a much higher level than that, and I do think that that Myers Park Huff game earlier in the year, was that week 4, week 5, that's not indicative of who Huff was later on. I'll talk about
they
that.
showed major improvement.
Yeah, because Olsen was not ready. That offense was not clicking. The defense was not clicking. And now you saw it.
No, and again, I think that's so. If people have that in their mind, I think they got to take that away. That Huff team, I saw that on film. I saw that Huff team not too long after, and then seeing that Huff team versus Olympic, they're not the same. I really see.
So how does Richmond try to slow Myers Park then?
I don't know if slowing them down is but I think what the best defense is a good offense. I mean, with that running back, was it Jaheim? What's his name?
Covington.
Covington. Yeah.
Oh.
So
his nickname's the Tank.
Yeah, it's very clear. I saw the 98-yard touchdown, and
wow.
Having the guy stone him, I forget who that was, maybe it was number 8, and then fall off of him and then proceed to go the remaining yards, shows you what kind of guy he is, and that's what Richmond's going to have to do. I mean, you've got to slow this game down to a crawl. You've got to make sure that they have the ball for long stretches, really tiring out that Myers Park defense, because everybody has questions. The one question that everybody's looking at Myers Park for is, can you be physical enough to win a grind 'em out type game?
It's an interesting game. We played Myers Park, and I think I hope Richmond don't go in there and forget about one important person, Twan Flip.
Yep. We've talked about him on here. Yeah.
That's the most dangerous football player on that team. We all talk about Drake May. We all talk about Moose. You all talk about Porter. On that offense, Flip and the Newman brothers, they could play.
And I'll tell you something, those Newman brothers, you don't hear much about Myers Park's run game.
But they can run.
They can run.
I think they both had a touchdown.
And they both, one's physical and one's like the speed back. But Flip, I just think, and how I'm Richmond going against Myers Park, and I'm the defense coordinator there. I know I like to play man. I'm playing robber. I'm playing a lot of robber concepts. I'm playing some read concepts. I'm just going to go out there and put my best athletes on. I think them 2 corners, they got 2 good corners. They got a nice nickel corner. I forgot the kid name. I think like 24, 21, something like that. So they got athletes that can run with them.
Yeah.
They just can't make the same mistakes that they made against Huff. But Huff, they probably, I was hearing they were putting Pryor at slot. Chandler started growing up and started, even against us, you didn't really see him like that. But it's tough to deal with Pride speed. I think Flip playing slot is gonna be tough. I think they don't put Moose there. You know, Moose got swag, and that's what they don't do. And they don't. I'm pretty sure Myers Park they don't run the ball. And I'm going Myers Park. The secret weapon is Cameron. I would put Cameron Sinclair on that running back. He would shout at that running back everywhere he go, and he could do it. The boy's physical. He's a head hunter. I think Jordan, corner, he's gonna have a good game. That secondary is good, and them linebackers are pretty good too.
Well, I'll tell you, Richmond got some receivers.
Yeah,
Man,
I saw that number 2 is huge. Yeah.
Strowman.
I think this is probably going to be a shootout of a game.
Yeah.
If you ask me, because when I went to Myers Park, Drake May, he was doing it every which way he could. I mean, he ran a touchdown. That was the first touchdown he scored. And then he was passing. Moose had 2 touchdowns. Like, it's going to be a shootout. Yeah. So it's going to be about which defense is going to be able to slow
And the last name May is like poison over there at Providence. We don't like May. And backside fade. First play.
Richmond was running some twists and slants and different things against Huff, generating some pressure. Is that something that you think they'll try to emulate again this week from a pass rush standpoint?
Yeah, because no offense, that's Myers Park weakness right now, that O-line.
Yeah, I think that's been unquestioned since the beginning.
I think they got, three new starters on that O-line. 4. That's tough. And, that's their weakness, but they can run the ball. I think everybody think they can't run the ball. They can run the ball. They choose not to run the ball because you got their cannon back there. And you got them thoroughbreds out there running routes, but they can run the ball, and I think this week is on the O-line.
Yeah, and I thought something was interesting that from your interview with Caleb Hood and how he was talking about they don't get the chance to play close games often. I thought that, it's something that was interesting but important. We talked about that, of course, even some with our Mallet Creek discussion. How do you respond when you get punched in the mouth? I think that part is going to be key for them and how they play and the result of this game. I mean, I think even with Huff, that was a test, and we saw that Huff, took the lead at some point. I know I said something.
It was a back and forth game.
Oh yeah, and I remember on my phone saying something else. You were scrolling. I mean, this time of year, you're at one place scrolling, talking about another. So I remember saying to Billups, I was like, Coach, I was like, Huff's out here.
I already knew. I said, Pride, isn't it? He was like, yep.
So how do they respond? I mean, I think Myers Park, even though they haven't had a ton of adversity, haven't had a ton of teams that have given them problems. I mean, the Huff game was hype enough. The Mooresville scrimmage early on, even though it's been a while. The Butler game, like you have quality teams that they've faced much better than what Richmond is has really seen outside of Scotland County.
Right.
Can they take that what they've learned from that Huff game and really build on it? They feel disrespected, so I think you're going to get the absolute best out of Richmond. I mean, those guys are tired of hearing people say they have no shot. They're tired of it. I was talking to a couple guys. They're tired of it. So I expect you're going to get their very best. So I think this one might be the game of the week.
And that's a good point. I don't think Richmond was at their best last week, and we talked about the bye week kind of causing some strange things to happen.
Oh yeah.
And you mentioned the interview. The interview with Coach Till. He said they were going to put in some different schemes for this week, like you were talking about, Coach. Maybe they're going to put in some wrinkles that they hadn't shown all season.
I think they are, because I think Coach Griner has poked that bear down there. And I think Coach Till, and he's a great defensive minded coach. When you have the time to play couple 1, couple 0, you play it,
Yeah.
But when you're forced you haven't had your hand forced to come out of it. And that's why I asked you, I said, hey, did they play more than a couple 1? You were like, yeah, they played some different concept. I think they don't open Pandora's box because this is a rematch. And Richmond County wants Myers Park. They feel disrespected. They got the athletes to play with that team. It's gonna be a close game. I think it may be a shootout, or you may be in for a low scoring game. I just don't know, but I won't
I'd
count.
be shocked.
I did
I
not
would-
see low score. Too many athletes on that dang field for it to be a low scoring game.
I just don't know.
It's
But in
not.
all fairness, they did lose last year, so the disrespect comes.
Yeah, I agree. I'm Mars Park. I'm confident. I'm like, hey, you gotta beat me.
Right.
You gotta beat me. We already done came to your house and whoop your butt.
Right.
So I'm Richmond County. That Huff game, you a little shaky. You're like, oh man. You're a little nervous, but you can't be nervous. You gotta go in there like a lion that's walking the den, just ready to fight.
I think there was more tension last week when Huff was taking the lead in the second half than there will be this week, because I think a lot of people expect Myers Park to win this game.
Yeah, I'm not gonna count Richmond County.
Oh no!
Don't do it.
Don't do it. I got a lot.
I'm just saying the general
Yeah.
public expects Myers Park to.
I just think we don't poke that bear a little too much. That's just me. You got Charlotte Observer poking them. Yeah, I said you got Charlotte Observer poking them. Nobody want to say you got Charlotte Observer poking them. And they got this whole criticism. It's been the dawn of time. Even when I was at West Charlotte, we played Richmond County. It's been Richmond County versus Charlotte the whole time. Ever since the dawn of time, since Charlotte was built. And Richmond County was over there. It's been Charlotte versus Richmond County. And that's how the whole state feels. It's Charlotte versus the whole state of North Carolina. It's like that.
Yeah, not for real. I'll do the CFI disclaimer for you. CFI does not promote the degradation of any other sites out here. We want to make sure that we're all about positive and including everybody. And this statement does not reflect CFI and any statements that they make.
Coach Billups underscore. Poking the bear. They're poking the bear. We ain't poking the bear. They're poking the bear.
On that note, thanks, guys.